What is up, my friends on the internet? Back at it with another video, and back at it with a video on the Scrambler 900. If you watched this video here, you will know that I added some luggage to this bike, and it was simply adding stuff to the passenger seat section of the bike because at the time the passenger seat was broken, so I couldn't use it anyway, so I just stacked my luggage there so I'd have storage to go touring. But things have changed. Let me show you what's going on. I want to say, quote unquote, fixed the passenger seat cleverly by adding a strap. I just ran a strap underneath there and eliminated the need for the screw that normally goes there to hold the seat in. It functions perfectly fine, tested, tried, and true. So with that being said, since I do have the use of the seat again, I don't want to cover it up with luggage. So that brings me to today's video and adding storage to the side of the bike so that I can have a passenger and carry all of my things. Here we have a package from SW-Motech containing my Legends gear bag for the Scrambler 900. Let's crack on into it and see what this thing is looking like. Cracking into the box, we've got what feels like a rack system of sorts here, and then what obviously has to be the bag. It comes in a nice little, like, I guess, canvas bag, linen bag here, which is cool. Really good presentation. I'm glad that they used this fabric bag that you can reuse instead of just using plastic. Scratch that. There's plastic on the inside. You can't win them all. All right, pulling it out of the plastic there, I went with the bigger option. This is 13.5 liters. They also have one that is, I believe, 9.8 liters. The bag that I originally wanted to get, which we'll talk about later, was 10 liters, and I was thinking that that was gonna be too small. So definitely 9 point something wasn't enough. 13.5 was really the hit here. Cracking into that other portion of the package, we have the rack system that I can't get out one-handed. It's a quick attach system. It doesn't lock like, I guess we'll just start talking about it. It doesn't lock like the Shad system I was gonna get. I wanted to buy the luggage that is floating on the screen right now from Shad. It is a 10-liter bag, but the cool thing about it was really cheap and it actually locked to the bike with a key. The bag locked to the bike, unlike most of the quick release bags. It reminded me of GB luggage, which I like a lot, that locks to bikes. It's just more secure. Not that I think somebody's gonna walk off with my bag, but preventing them doing that always sounds good. But that bag, they sent me a notification that they were gonna ship the bag itself, but then a day later they sent me a notification that the rack to mount the bag was back ordered for 10 weeks. So I immediately had them cancel that order and went with the SW-Motech stuff, which I was stoked about because it will match my tank bag perfectly. Everything open, we've got the attachment point there, the rack, these brackets that I imagine are gonna attach this to the bike using all of this hardware and what looks like a very, very short instruction sheet. It's actually just a QR code so you can look up the instructions. So I'm gonna do that now. Yeah, let's get on into it. Okay, clever little plot twist. The whole reason I am installing this bag is because I regained use of my passenger seat, but installing the bag requires removing the passenger seat that I have cleverly rigged here, which is fine because there's the Triumph, I think it's called 2-up seat, twin seat maybe, I'll float it on the screen here. I wanna get this seat eventually anyway, so mostly because it works off one key here versus having to take this off as one thing and take this off as one thing. Pulling the whole seat off like you can on the Street Twin there sounds great. So I'm gonna do that anyway. So for the time being, we're pulling the seat off and hopefully it can go back on with this bag. If not, I might be buying a seat sooner than I thought. In case anyone asked, if you do break this little attachment point on your seat, but you still have the peg there, you can slot it in. I just loosened all of this up and ran a strap underneath. This is from some other luggage. I don't remember who made it, but it's just a pretty generic strap. And then I just ran it over the seat so that I could still slot these in to there and this would still slide in, but instead of the screw going in, the strap was just kind of the final retention. It being stuck in there and being slotted up into there, plus the strap, seemed really secure for me. So it worked for me, might work for you, but let's keep going with this luggage. Out, this comes off. There is that strap, just cleverly placed between the attachment points there. And there's one there that's kind of covered up because the strap moved, but that's how I rigged it if you want to do it. The next step is attaching the bracket number 6 with the screw number 8 to the back of the shock absorber here. So I'm going to thread that in. It goes in this orientation. Yeah. So that is it installed. The instructions say not to fully tighten the screw, so mine is still loose, but it's on there. That's the orientation it goes on, one screw in the back of the shock absorber. Next step is to attach the side carrier to the bike. You're gonna mount that to that, and then this up to there, and you're gonna use the 10s and the 9s as marked on your little instruction sheet. It's 2 of these and 2 of those. Let's get that installed. There you have it, the side carrier attached, nice and loose. This part getting lined up was a little difficult. I had to do a little bit of like wiggling back and forth, but it's all good now. And on my bike, this screw is a little difficult to thread in. It was the same with the factory seat screws. I imagine the threads are just a little wonky, so I'm not going to torque it down until I'm absolutely certain that I can send it in there and leave it in there, because I worry about getting it back out and something else back in. But let's keep going down the instructions. Another plot twist, I reread the instructions, and because of the year of my bike, 2021 plus, you actually don't use these. You're gonna actually attach this part of the bracket with the old seat screws and the old seat bracket. Obviously, that's gonna allow you to still run the passenger seat, so crisis averted. Mine is still broken, so I'm gonna have to see if I can still fit that strap around it. If I can, that'll be great for the time being, but I'm still gonna grab that new seat as soon as I can. Right, so I've got that bolted up now on the top. Just a little pro tip, not that I'm a pro, but the screws for the front are slightly longer. For a while I had them reversed, and this shorter one just would not bite, and I was kind of racking my brain trying to figure out why. I was shining a flashlight in there trying to make sure the threads were okay, and it was just that I needed to switch these 2 screws. The longer ones go in the back because they have to reach further. The shorter ones go in the front. That's why those seat so far down and these do not, but that's all snugged up. Now we're gonna snug up this part here. Everything snug as a bug. Let's keep on going. I imagine the next step is adding the actual little mounts here that will receive the bag. So let's keep going. All right, fun times. The instructions actually end here. So I am on my own. All of this stuff here, let's make sure that it's not on this sheet of paper. Yep, nope. All of this stuff here, I think this is for a different model. I imagine these are the things that actually receive the bike or the bag. So I'm going to try to figure out how to thread these on. This is looking like proper like that. Seems like what I need to be doing. So I'm going to figure it out, play around with it. And once I figure it out, I'll jump back on camera to let you guys know what the solution is to save you some time. Scratch that, I figured it out. It was actually step number 1 to install these. Somehow I just missed the very first step when I started looking at the instructions, but it's super simple. You're gonna have 2 of these flat little screws. That goes in the bottom and the top one here. Those just flush in and tighten them down. And then this one's a little different. You've got this one little short silver screw, this spacer-esque guy that has like kind of a cone shape on the back. It settles into that 3rd grommet there. You tighten that down. This one is different because it is the one that is going to add the retention. It's where the latch actually grabs onto to take the bags on and off. So I'm going to pop it on now, show you what that looks like. Boom, that is added on there, slotted on, nice and rigid. You can see there, it attaches there, and then this special one is because that's where your release latch is to take them on and off. So as I was filling up the bag, I discovered that it does come with a dry bag, and there's a couple different ways you can use it. You can either use the Velcro in reverse to attach it to the bag itself, or it has its buckles, so if you want to rock it loose in the bag, you can just roll the top, buckle it to itself, and have a dry bag inside your bag. Both are a pretty cool option. One makes the whole bag like kind of a dry bag. The other one allows you to have something you can just pull out, like if you get to a hotel or whatever you want to do. For me, the bag comes off so easy that I'm gonna use it as the entire bag being a dry bag and just take the whole thing with me when I go places. All right, so here she is, all buttoned up with some things in there just to kind of show you what it looks like when I'm actually using it. This bag is really simple, but I like it a lot. They had a really good attention to detail and threw in a couple little features that are gonna make my life easier. I really like the roll top system. I like that it's the 3 simple buckles to get it sealed up. There's a couple little attachment points there that will come in handy for strapping other things to it. Molly down on the side, a few more attachment points there. They basically make it to where you can kind of rig things and make it more expandable. The interior waterproof bag is really nice. And of course, I like that it matches the tank bag perfectly. Going forward, I am definitely gonna run that seat I showed you guys for a few different reasons. For one, I think it looks better. For 2, it'll replace the broken seat. And for 3, it will run off 1 key. And then 4, it will allow me to run a rack on the rear here. I am gonna run that Triumph factory rack, the one that looks like this, for a few different reasons. One, I don't think this bag and this bag are gonna give enough storage for 2 on a tour. Also, that rack will allow me to run this trunk right here. And that will be really nice to have a locking trunk on the bike so I can leave my helmet and camera on it if I wanted to, so I can just have more storage in general. It will also allow a passenger backrest situation, which is nice. I don't love the way that bag looks, so I'll probably only have it on when I'm on tour, but then otherwise just run the rack with nothing on it. But that is the bike as it sits right now. We are making progress on this build, my friends. I appreciate you for coming along on this journey. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe. My analytics say that about 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed, so please help me out and click that button. It helps immensely. If you enjoyed this one, also hit thumbs up. But last but not least, the last absolute thing I need you to do is go out and have a fantastic day. I will see you on the next one. Peace.